Hello and welcome to DVxUI. Today we are going to design this hero section on this channel. Well, what is so special about this hero section? So let me take you to the new tab and show you what is so special about this one. And now you will see over here I have this moving element inside the frame. So now when I take my cursor inside this frame, it moves. But when I take it out, it moves back to its original position. So this is what we are going to make in Figma. So let's understand how can we do that. Well, before starting, it is important to understand what we have been given on the screen, and I'll be quick with it. So on the left panel, you have the pages. Currently I'm working on the YouTube and that's why it is highlighted. Then over here, you have the layers. Layers are basically the elements that you are going to put on this canvas. So suppose if I take a frame, put it over here, this will be listed on the layers. I will delete this one. Now under layers, I have the first layer, which is resources. Let's go over here. Now inside the resources, I have this picture that I'm going to be using and the color that I also going to be using. Then over here, if you see a dark black color box is there, and if you hit a shortcut, this will say it aloud. So in this way, you will know what shortcuts I'm using. And let me also tell you about the right panel. So let's scroll over here. Take a rectangle, drop it over here, zoom into big. Now when I don't select this, nothing much appears over here, but when I select it, setting options or basically the appearance options have appeared. Now what they can do is, if I change this corner radius to let's say 200, the corner radius will be provided. So the right panel is used to control the appearance of the element selected on the canvas. So this was it for the right and the left panel. Let's delete this. Let's take a frame and start designing. So to start designing, we need a frame. So as I showed you, you can press F on your keyboard, or you can go to this option, and on the right panel, you will be presented with a lot of options of frames. And among them, inside the desktop, I'm going to choose the desktop. Now we have this over here, and if we hit Shift and 2, this will zoom to perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's provide a corner radius of 80 so that this is not very much pointy on all the sides. And let's select this once again and provide it a color which is going to be 1-2. So this is a variant of black. Now I also need to provide a border to this frame. So for that, I will go to stroke, and the weight, basically the width, is going to be 4. But if it is black, it will not be visible. I will make it white. And the white is quite very much prominent. So let's reduce down its opacity to 30%. And now the border is not visible. It is because if I select this frame, you will see there is a gap. So there is this gap. It means the border is there, but we are not able to see it. It is because the stroke position is given inside. We need to make it outside. And now the border is visible. So let's just go back, Shift and 2. And now let's start putting element on this frame. So we are going to start with the header first, and a header contains 3 things. The first thing is the site name, which goes over here, then the nav links, which goes over here, and then we have a button, which is going to be over here. But before that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select this frame, then go over here in the layout guide, and I will switch to columns, go to this grid option, and in the columns count, I'm going to provide, let's say 16, and the margin is going to be 120. So this means all the informational text is going to be inside these bars, and these bars going to guide me throughout the process of designing. Let's cross it and let's zoom in over here, because now we are going to design the site name. So the site name is going to be pretty simple. So we are going to take a text, drop it over here and write pay now and a dot. Now select it. You will see the typography option is given over here when you have selected this. Now the size is 50. I want 32, but with medium font weight. And I also want to change the color of this now only. So I will select that, go to fill and provide it a color which is going to be our primary color. Yeah, perfect now. Now we will take this and put it over here randomly. Now I will hold Alt while selecting this and I will move my cursor away. And this will tell me how much is this gap. It is currently 61. Let's take 60. So now it is 60. And now the site name is done. We need to design the nav links. So for the nav links, I'm going to take a text, drop it over here and write few text which are going to be nav links. So the first one is home, copy paste it. The second one is payment, then again copy paste. So the third one is about, and instead of copy paste you can also hit Ctrl D for the duplicate. And the last one is going to be contact. So now we have all the nav links, but they are not looking much great and they are quite large in size. So I will select all of them, and firstly let's work on their appearance. So for the appearance I will go over here and the font size is going to be 20, really small with regular font weight. So this is perfect. Now I need to align them perfectly. Well, there's an easy way. What you can do is you can right click while selecting all of them and give it add auto layout. And now you will see the auto layout has been provided, but it is not looking that much great. So we will select it from here, increase the width, and this will be spread in the horizontal direction, exactly how we want it. Now this gap is not perfect, so we will go under the auto layout and the width is going to be hug contents. So now the width is perfect, and this gap between these text, so let me zoom in. So this gap is 101, which we don't want. We want a gap of 75. So now this is perfect, and I will select this auto layout, and by using this alignment tool I will align it at the middle. Now I need to push it up, so I will hold shift and keep pressing the arrow up key just to place it in the same line with the site name. So yeah, I guess this is perfect. We can also fix the alignment later. But now we have one problem. If the user is on the home page, which is the landing page, then we must notify him. So how can we do that? We can select this home and provide it a different color, which is going to be the primary color. And we can select all of them, the rest of them, and we can reduce down this opacity of the fill color to 70%. So yeah, perfect. And I guess this is decent. Now we will move forward and design that button. So let's zoom in over here. So let's take a text and write sign up. So this is good. Now let's fix some appearance. So the font size is 20, which is good, but the font weight is going to be medium. And what we also need to do is we need an arrow beside this. So for that arrow, let's right click, go to plugins and go to Iconify. You might not find it in your Figma. What you can do is you can go to manage plugins. Then here you can search for Iconify. I have already installed it, so I will just run it. And now in the search, I'm going to write arrow right. And among these arrows, I'm going to pick this one because this is looking interesting. And I will drop it over here. Let's cross this, select our arrow, put it over here, and the arrow might not be visible. So we will go over here in the selection colors and we will make it FF, which is the hex code for the white color. So now this is perfect. 24 is also perfect. We are going to select both of them, and from here you can put them in auto layout. You can also use a shortcut which is Shift and A as indicated. So I will just use this icon. Perfect. I will align it at the middle. Now this gap between the arrow and the sign up text is 10. I want to reduce it to 8. Perfect. And I want to provide some horizontal and vertical padding. So in the horizontal, I'm going to provide 26 and the vertical, I'm going to provide 16. So I guess this is not visible. I will also give it a fill color of, let's say, 5% of the opacity. So the text is visible and the color is also looking great. Then we will provide a stroke of, let's say, weight 2, but the color is going to be white. So now this is looking much perfect. I will select this and provide some corner radius, basically a lot of corner radius. So yeah, this is good, but I see the border is very prominent. So what we can do is we can select this, go to stroke, and the opacity of this border is going to be reduced down to 30%. And now this is looking perfect and it has a glass effect over it. So let's go over here. We will align it later on. So yeah, let's select this, put it over here. And remember this gap, it was 60. We need to provide 60 here as well. So let's zoom in, hold Alt, and this is 65. So towards the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 60. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them, and by using this alignment tool, I'm going to align them at the middle. So yeah, now it is perfect. Put it a bit up. Yeah, good enough. Let's hit Shift and 2. And yeah, this is looking perfect. Now we need to work on hero text. So the hero text is going to be over here. So let's take a text and write business payment. Select it, and the size is very small. We need to increase it to 56, and the font weight is going to be regular. Place it over here, make a copy of it, and this one is going to be easy and secure with a dot. Select it, change the font size to 78 with medium font weight. And yeah, this is already looking very much great. Now what we need to do is we need the description for this text or for this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a new tab and I'm going to go to a website which is loremipsum.io, and I will copy this much of the text. Just copy it, go back to design, take a text and put it over here. Now select it and let's change the font size first, which is going to be 18 with light font weight, and the opacity is going to be, let's say, 80%. Perfect. Place it over here, reduce down the size, something like this. Perfect. And now we need 2 buttons over here. But before designing the buttons, let me make this text more interesting, because all the whites are looking quite boring. So how can we make that interesting? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to provide it a crown text over here. So what is that crown text? Let me draw that and I will tell you more about it. So I will zoom in over here, take a text, And here I'm going to write 4.7 plus overall global rating. Perfect. Select it. The font size is going to be 18 but with medium font weight. And I also need to provide an auto layout. So the padding is 10. We need to replace it with 12. And the vertical padding is going to be 8. Padding is not visible, so let's provide a stroke of white color with the opacity of 30%. And the corner radius for this one is also going to be full. And now this is looking quite boring, so what we can do is we can select the text, go over here at the very starting, then hit window and dot key and get the star from here. Provide a gap. Perfect. And now we will place it over here. So now this crown text provide a readability to the users. So what happens is if you have a text over here and you have the text over here as well, the user is going to read this text first. The larger the size, the larger is its perceived value. It means that user is going to read this text, which is over here first, and then they will focus on this text. And this will give them a proper legibility hierarchy in terms of reading. Now you might be asking that how do I know about these principles? So let me tell you about a website. So you will go to on a new tab and here you will type redoui.com and you will land on my website. Well, I have created this website with years of experience and there was a single objective. What I wanted to do is I wanted anyone to come here as a beginner and become a master designer. So what I did was I created all these modules. So the principle that I was telling you just now is listed inside this design basics. So if you go in the typography, you will find alignment and hierarchy. And inside this lesson, you will find all the laws that can be utilized while designing websites or applications. Not only this, as you can see, this is very interactive, but we are not done with this one. What I have done here is I've also included challenges at the end. So what you can do is once you have read the complete lesson, you can come over here and then you can testify your knowledge. In this way, you will grasp the best out of this website. And if you want to learn more and if you want to practice more, we all know the practice is the key. You can go to daily challenge, click on it, and then you will have this 120 days UI UX challenge. Well, I have opted for this one. That's why it is showing me this 9th day of challenge. But if you haven't, it will ask you for an email just for the record purpose. And then you will be presented and your progress will be shown over here. So I highly urge you to go to this website and start your learning journey. Well, now it's time to go back to the designing and continue designing our section. Now, just to make it more interesting, I will select this payment and provide it a different color, the green color for the secure as well. And then for this easy as well. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is perfect. We can select this one, put it a bit down. Yep, perfect. Select it, put it a bit up. And now we need to design two CTAs. Well, CTA are basically call to action buttons which are given on the landing page to direct the user toward the goal of the website. So I will zoom in over here, take a text, and here I'm going to write get started, select it, change the font size to 22 with medium font weight. Perfect. And also I'm going to provide auto layout because I want to create a button. The padding in the horizontal is going to be 22 and in the vertical it is going to be 40. I will fill it with a color, but it is going to be the primary color. And let's give it a gradient. So you can switch from solid to gradient over here. And a gradient is provided. Now I will select my button and provide it a full corner radius. Place it over here just like this. Make a copy of it. Put it here. And here I'm going to write our pricing. Select this, make it regular. Remove this fill color because both the buttons are not going to look same because this is a secondary button and this is primary button. So let's remove down this fill. Provide a stroke instead of white color with the opacity of 30%. Select both and the gap between them is 10. It's not 10. It is actually 19. So this gap is the gap for inside the auto layout, but there is a spacing between them which is 19. So let's make it 24. Let's see. Well, I guess 24 is a lot. So let's reduce down it by 2 pixels. Yeah, perfect. Now I will select this, put it up, something like this. Yeah, because I need to put some more content over here. So let's take a line first. For the divider, I will put it over here. The width for this one is going to be 508, quite small. So let's take 580. Perfect. As you can see, there is an angle provided to this line. We don't want that, so make it 0. And in the stroke width, it is 1, which is good. And the opacity is going to be 30%. Perfect. And now we need some content over here. So let's zoom in. Take a text, drop over here and write 500K. Select it. Change the font size to 60 with semi-bold font weight. Put it over here. Copy paste. Drag it over here and write worldwide users. Select it. Change the font size to 22 with regular font weight. Put it a bit down. Select this one. 500 is going to be highlighted with the primary color. And this worldwide user is going to have an opacity of 80%. Well, let's take 70%. Yeah, good enough. And now we need some user icon over here. So for that, I've made it very easy for you. You just need to go to this resources. You can download this from the description as well. Go here and copy this one. So just copy it. Go to your design and paste it. Align it with the text. So for the alignment, what we can do is we can select both these text, put them in the auto layout, and the gap is going to be -6. Select this one and this text. Now put them in auto layout once again. Make sure they are at the center, and this is perfect. Let's see, this gap is 86. Let's reduce it some. And now this width can be reduced down to 500, let's say. Perfect. Push it a bit down. Select all these. A bit down. Select all of them and put them a bit down, just to be on the same line of the eyes. So now this is done. Now the only part that is remaining is the decoration and the prototyping. So first let's do the decoration and then we will move ahead with the prototyping. So first of all, I will take a circle. So take a circle, drop it over here. Let's lock this so that if I change the height to, let's say, 804, the width will also be changed. Now I will open the mouth. Then I will reduce down the ratio. The ratio can be controlled from here and it is going to be, let's say, 70%. And let's close this mouth once again. Put it over here, something like this. Perfect. put it at the back. And now I'm going to select my circle, go to fill, provide a color with a gradient, and now I need to reduce down the opacity. So the opacity can be reduced or controlled from here, and it is going to be, let's say, 12%, a really low value. Yeah, this is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another circle, put it over here, make it large, and let's lock it. Change the dimension to 924 by 924. Put it something like this. Yeah, perfect. Now let's provide it the primary color. Cross this, go to effects, then switch to layer blur, and the value for the layer blur is going to be, let's say, 600. So yeah, this is perfect, but this is very much prominent. So what we are going to do is we are going to change the color a bit. So the color value is going to be 155031. Yeah, perfect. Send it back. Give it an opacity of 80%. A bit up towards the right. And now I will select my frame and remove these red lines so that we can see it better. Remove it, and yeah, as you can see, this is looking absolutely perfect. Now we need to prototype that image and put it over here. So firstly I will select the circle and I will lock it so that it does not interfere with whatever I'm going to do over here. Now let's zoom out and go to resources. Take this picture, copy it, and I will paste it over here. So yeah, this is perfect. And now firstly what I need to do is I need a frame. So take a frame, drop it over here. The width for this one is going to be, let's say, 640, and the height is also going to be 640. I'm also going to clip it, and the color for this one is going to be 00, which is absolute black. I will select this picture, cut it, zoom in over here, and I will paste it inside this. And now it is not aligned, so I will use this alignment tool while selecting my picture, put it in the middle and then in the center. So this is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and then I will make it a component. So create component. So this is a component now. Now what I want to do is I want to make one more variant. So for that I will go over here and select this option which says add variant. So we have two variants over here. I will select this complete component. The spacing is 20. I will give it some more. So yeah, this is perfect. Select this and increase the size so that we can see it together. Perfect. Now both of them are looking same. So what we are going to do is we are going to select this second one, which is the variant 2, as you can see over here, and then I will select this picture, and in the rotation I'm going to provide 180. So now this has been flipped by 180 degrees, and now what I can do is I can select this complete frame, go to prototype, select this frame, which is the first one, the default one, and then zoom in over here. I will select a node and put it over here. Well, it is very important to switch to prototype in order to see these nodes. So when you switch it, you will see these nodes. And right now this node setting is set to on click. We don't want that. It means when we click on it, it will change the variant to the second one. As you can see, the action is changed to, and it is changing to the variant 2. Now we will switch this trigger to, let's say, mouse enter. So now when the mouse enters this frame, this will be switched to this one. Well, I guess the hover will be much relevant. So I will select this and make it while hovering. So when you hover your mouse, this will change to this one. And how it is going to change? It is going to change instantly. So you're not going to see any animation right now with this one. But if we go to animation and go to smart animate, and then in the curve, we will go to slow, and this duration is going to be 3000 millisecond, which is basically 3 seconds. So in the 3 seconds, it will transform from this one to this one. This will make the animation really slow and make it look good. So now let's check how it works. So to check that, what we need to do is, we will select this one, the first one, then we will hold Alt on our keyboard and put it out over here. Now what you also can do is, if you find it hard, so let me delete this one, you can switch to assets from this file, switch to assets, and then you will land on this page. And when you go on your own libraries, you will find this component which we have just created. And when you click on it, a button will appear which says insert instance. We will click on this and we have an instance of this component over here. Now I will go to flow starting point, and this will give me a flow starting point, quite explanatory. And now I will click on this small movie icon. And now when my cursor enters, basically over this picture, they start moving. And when I move out, it retains its position. Well, why is it happening? Let me show you. So cross this. It is happening because we have made this animation, which you can see over here. So I will run it once again and show you. When I hover it, it moves, and when I move it out, it moves back. So I will cross this. Now what we can do is, we can remove this flow. So select it and push it elsewhere and it will disappear. Now I'm going to select this instance, not this component, remember. So this instance is going to be selected and I'm going to put this inside this. Now the size is 640 by 640, but I need it to be a little large. So I will switch to design, and then from here I'm going to make it 740. Push it over here, something like this. Perfect. And now there's this black background which we don't want. Well, we did it for our animation purpose. Let me switch back to the files. And we can remove this black background. So we will go to this one and select this one as well. So these are the parent component. If I remove or change any of this styling, it will appear on this instance. You will see right now. So I have selected both these component, and then what I'm going to do is, in the fill, I'm going to remove it. Now, as I removed fill, the color has been removed from this one as well. So now this is perfect. Let me align it a bit. So yeah, perfect. Let's zoom in a bit up. So now this is how we have created this interactive hero section in Figma, but let's see how it works. So I will select this frame first, then I will click on this little play icon. This will take me to the prototyping display. And here we have our element. Now if I hover over here, you will see it moves and it will go back when I remove my cursor. So this is how it is working. So as you can see, this was pretty easy to do, and I hope you all have done it. And if you have made your version of this design, consider sending it to our Telegram group, and I will give you the review for this design as well. I hope you are going to join the Telegram group, and with this, we will meet in the next one.